Thank you for being with us. We begin with a day that will go down in the history books as Donald Trump became the first former president to face a criminal trial. Before entering court, Trump made this declaration.
This is political persecution. This is a persecution like never before. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. And again, it's a case that should have never been brought.
He is facing 34 counts of falsifying business records to cover up a sex scandal while serving as president. If convicted, he could be sentenced to 4 years in prison. For more, let's go to AP International affiliate correspondent Philip Crowther, who is outside of the courthouse. Philip, good to be with you. So tell us more about this case that Trump is facing.
Well, it's considered maybe the least serious of the 4 criminal cases that the former president faces right now, and the only one most likely to go to a criminal trial before the election date in November of this year. This is in shorthand called the hush money case, but really it's about whether Donald Trump falsified records to hide the fact that he might have been hiding a sexual affair with a former adult movie actress. That is something that this jury is supposed to essentially decide upon. At what time, we don't know yet. This is a trial that is expected to last around 6 weeks. And at this point, we don't have a single picked juror yet. 12 of them are supposed to be designated at some point over the next few days. The judge gets to ask them questions, but so do the defense and the prosecutor. And so far, there hasn't been a single one picked. Of course, this was always going to be difficult in a place like Manhattan, where there are a lot of Democrats and where most people will already have heard, of course, about the former president who grew up here in New York City, after all. One thing we learned today is that things move slowly in court, if that's not something we knew already. Court has just adjourned for the day. These are going to be long days from 9:30 in the morning until 4:30 in the evening, and as I just mentioned, 6 weeks altogether for the trial. But judging by what we saw today, it's going to take quite a few days, most likely, to find that pool of jurors, those 12 people who will decide whether to find Donald Trump guilty or not guilty.
Philip, tell us a little bit more about the scene today outside of the courthouse. Were there protests? What was it like?
Yeah, there were some protesters here, not too many, though a few dozen, I would say, at the start of the day around 9 a.m. Pro-Trump supporters this, and in a rarity for New York City, there were actually more supporters of the former president than opponents of his. Maybe there is a bit of tiredness creeping in with all of these trials, or rather these court cases going on at the same time. It's been a quiet day here outside the courthouse, no confrontations at all, bar 1 or 2 verbal ones. A lot of media here, of course. You're only seeing me, but to my left and to my right, there are dozens more reporters and camera crews. There is, of course, a huge amount of interest in the first criminal trial for a former U.S. president. This is historic, and all of these days will be when the first jurors are picked, when opening arguments begin, when closing arguments take place, and of course when a verdict is decided upon by the jurors. It is all pretty unprecedented, and as you mentioned off the top, it is a day that goes down in history.
Phil, almost out of time, but quickly tell us about the former president. What was his demeanor like today, and how is he going to balance being in the courtroom as well as being on the campaign trail?
Well, it's a good question. First of all, he will campaign a little bit here in New York because he does speak, or is expected to speak, before each day in court, and he did so today and also spoke just a few minutes ago once court had adjourned. So he will get some time in front of the cameras here in New York City. But essentially what he's looking at is being in court, and he has to be in court during the daytime, and then campaigning in the evenings, giving him also Wednesdays off because court won't be in session to campaign for president, and also the weekends. But yes, for the next few weeks, 6 weeks at least, I would say at this point, it is going to be a case of juggling those 2 priorities for Donald Trump.
Now, Philip Crowther in New York for us tonight. Thank you so much.